Okay, so here you've got, I've drawn, forgive my drawing skills, you've got your football pitch. So I've gone for a 4-3-2. But anyway, so this is your football pitch, and you've got your supporters in the stand and your players on the field. Got a little description here, you might be able to see that. I've worked hard for this career, so we know that sport's fantastic for the mental health. Football players generally work hard. Now, what's been happening currently with racism in football and the way that it's set up in football stadiums, we've got the facility that allows that to happen because the players will go on the pitch, supporters are in the stadium. Obviously, I'm not going to swear, but I've just got a cartoon here of one person, UBB. Okay, there could be anything, any other racist comments, and that obviously there's a player next to on the pitch. Obviously, that player is thinking, "Wow, that's strong." Okay, there's a deep emotional feeling straight away into the brain. But the player's thinking, "Wow, that hurts. No, I've got a game to play." So you try to focus on the game in hand. But the real problem is that when a football supporter goes to the stadium, it's a free environment for them to swear, shout, and scream. Okay, they can cheer, that's allowed. And the way that I haven't drawn in any like guards that you have people that sort of like safeguard the game supposedly. There's no interruption there, so it's really hard for anybody to pick out that comment. Although you hear it as a player, how do you eradicate that or make the stadium safer? So what I'm looking at doing is proposing a deep learning design on the stadium so that we can add technology audio to not catch people out, but to reinforce that when you go into the stadium, you are not allowed to make racist comments. Okay, we can't eradicate it from society, but we can build in a system in the stadiums to just knock it off. So I've got here. This is your football supporter. Okay, imagine they're going into the stadium. Okay, and the first thing when you go to a football match, or I've been to a few games, is that you're going to get your brochure. Okay, in that brochure, let's say my club Arsenal, I love Arsenal, and I'm not picking on Arsenal. Okay, but normally you get a football player. Now that's text. Now in that text on the front cover for the first game of the season or for games going forward should be some form of illustration or instruction about racism. So you've got a textual image there to remind the supporter that they are not allowed and shouldn't, and it's not good in society to make racist comments. As they go before they go into the stand, they might, take a seat here. Okay, you've got your screens. Okay, forgive my drawing. Now, before the game starts, there should be a video played, which is, visual and audio, 5-10 minutes before the game to everybody in the stadium, including the players, to remind them. So that's audio going into the brain to 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 people. So that reinforces it. And obviously you've got your 45 minutes half time. All right. So that gets played again. So that's a double reinforcement. So you've got one check there, 2 and 3 because that's double played. But also you can go beyond that because you've got your food stalls, okay, and they've got video screens inside them. So that's 4, okay, and that can be played throughout the game. So that's another reinforcement. But to actually, if someone does make a racist comment, what do we do in the stadium? What does the football players do? Okay, you're a supporter, football players on the pitch, they're trying to play a game of football and they're receiving that racist abuse. What needs to happen is that the players need to have a new design shirts that allow them to wear, like a ref does, in their pocket, okay, the racist red and yellow card. So you get a yellow card or whatever, and you hold that card up. If you hear racism in the stand, the game can either be stopped. You add that as injury time. It's going to change the game of football, but you know we can't continue as we are. And then you'll get a special team come over, and then they'll investigate it, and then you have people come into the stadium and try and find out who made that racist comment. Not while the game can still continue, but straight away it's being investigated in that area. Now I'm not saying it's foolproof, okay, but this is about learning design and building, and you can even take it as far as putting AI. You can use artificial intelligence, camera spotting that actually spots violence and rape. Maybe not. It's quite difficult with racist abuse, but targeted cameras that can actually pick up, different things that shouldn't be allowed in crowds. That's investment, and I think in the future we're going to have to rely on that in some ways. But I think the most important thing is to reinforce into the brain of the supporter as they go into the stadium, and you have these, checks to video, audio as much as possible. Textual will work, but audio and video is much better, because if I'm going to a football game and I say to you, I'm really up for the game with my friends, and then, I start chanting something that I shouldn't be chanting, and I'm into the game. As a human, I'm using my power in the stadium to make a racist, or whatever I'm saying. If I'm swearing, or people who swear during games, I accept that people swear and get into the game. But when you're making a comment to somebody on the pitch, that player is feeling that emotional abuse, and it's wrong, and it causes really bad detrimental, psychology damage to the brain. It's not good. And sometimes it's taken further when people continue to use and abuse a social media platform, because when you put a message out, the platforms are designed to get messages out. And when you open your phone, doesn't matter who you are in this world, okay, and you open that and you go through your comments, that's going to cause pain up here, and it's not nice. So if we can flip it over with social media and make social media more about advertising what you shouldn't do in the game, and then pump that out through learning design in the stadium, audio, textual, and even as far as to say, when you sign up and go to a game, you get a few messages, text messages, or a video played before you go to the game to remind you what's wrong about, making racist abuse, and go deep with that. Go make a little short documentary, and I think that this is going to be the best. It's not foolproof, but the science is behind this. That we know when we watch videos, we learn more. So we need to put that into racist abuse as a learning design to change people's minds, and just take that stop, pause, and think. Because if someone calls me a name in the street, which I've been called before, I've been through racist abuse and it's horrible. And I'm going back to the late 80s, where the racism was quite evident, very high when my hometown is in Dagenham. It's a different world now, but it was hard for me because I couldn't fight back, not physically because I was too young. I was emotionally scared. And I know there's a lot of criticism about our football players and a lot of money, but we're all human. And the thing is, when you make a comment, it does emotional damage to someone, and it's not nice, and it's not right. You might think it's right to swear and shout, you this and that, because you're in the stadium, you've got that power, but you don't have the authority. And I think that football clubs watching this, or any sport organisation, I own a company called Learning for You. I specialise in learning design. Please, reach out to me. I'm more than willing to, offer my, help and advice. No monetary, completely free of charge. I'm really wanted to step up as a managing director of my company, as a business leader, and say, you know what, You know, I'm here to make a difference. Let's work together. Use my expert knowledge in learning design. Put something like this in the stadiums, okay? I'm sure we're going to see a difference. Just doing that and doing it in the face of the media will make, you know, if we can eradicate if we can measure the actual amount of racial abuse coming through as a data point, and then see if our systems, because that's how learning design works in any system in any world, is that you put a learning design in, a video, a training course, you watch the data to see if it works, and you speak to people. And I think that's the way forward. So I hope that's educational. It's just an idea and a concept that I've been working on, I really want to try to, because racism in sport should not be there. We should not. We've got enough money on the table, enough technology in this world to put these designs in. I know that football clubs are struggling. I know that recently they tried to form their own league, and a lot of clubs, big clubs, including my club Arsenal, are in the red. But we've really got to step up and get and just treat people equally and fairly. They're football players that go there to play. We know we've seen players maybe perform a bad game or whatever, but doesn't give us the right to say, you're this, that, and the other, and call them racist and deep emotional words that cause damage to people. It's not nice. Let's put these designs in or something around that, and I really think we're going to see a difference in racism in sport, at least. We can't eradicate it from society, but the more videos, the more content we push out, where people are going, as in before you get into the stadium, that will go into the brain of that human, and it's not 100% foolproof, but the science is there to say, look, if you get reminded about something, it's like a traffic light. You go to the traffic lights, the law says you've got to stop at red, okay? Now we can't put a traffic light there, or we can, so you can't go in until you watch this video, right? That might be the way to go forward. So I've spoken enough, and I hope that this is educational and it's put some new ideas out there. But please, sport companies, do reach out to me on LinkedIn, and I'm more than happy to consult with you and come up with new learning designs with technology or paper-based systems that allows the supporters and the players, more importantly, to come and have a good career. Because getting into football is hard, and it's any sport. Racism and any kind of misconduct like that should not exist in sport. Really, really shouldn't. We've got enough technology and money in the world to at least safeguard the players and the supporters. Okay, so thanks so much for watching. Please continue to watch my content. More interesting videos coming right up to you. God bless everyone, stay safe, and most importantly, when you have the anger in the game, just think twice before you speak, and just think, no, that's not acceptable. Thank you so much. Take care. God bless.